O God, the Almighty, we invoke your blessings, your grace, compassion, love, forgiveness, and the strength to understand this knowledge. Our salutations and gratitude to the Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. So today we are on the Divine Discourse number 44, the 26th of May 2020, Sharvari Nam Samvatsar, Uttarayan, Grishma Rut, Jyesht Mas, Shukla Paksh, and Chaturthi, a Tuesday. So yesterday, finally, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, I am very well convinced, Arjuna, and all the more that you have been my buddy, my brother-in-law, my well-wisher, and a co-student. So with all this, he says, I have thought that what suits you the best is you take up the Karma Yoga path. This he says in the verse number 19. And what he says there? You have to give up your attachment, focus on the action what you're doing, or on the work you're doing, on that which is in your hands. And don't keep thinking about what you will be getting as a result or as a fruit of this particular action again and again. Don't keep doing that. See, many think that here the Lord is saying, just do your duty and don't expect any fruits. No. This is completely wrong. What understanding of this Karma Yoga is. Lord says, give your best when you are concentrating and working. Don't allow your mind to wander here and there, and you don't get stuck in the aspect that I would get this, or I may not get this, or this could happen, that could not happen. It will reduce your input. Imagine whenever you do a work with 100% concentration, vis-a-vis a wavering mind or in a distracted mind. You know for yourself what is the level of result you can expect out of such a task. Lord Krishna precisely tells that. If you keep focusing on various other aspects and allow your mind to go here and there, your input to the job will be reduced, which in turn will give a lower output, which in turn will show up a lower performance. And remember, Arjuna, what has to come to you as per your karma prarabdha will come to you, come what may. Out of the purushartha, you can improve upon it. That's a different thing. But basically what has to come to you will come to you. Keeping that in mind, you focus on your input and output. And another beautiful reason he gives over here, why you should not keep looking at the fruits or the result all the time. Psychologists say one of the main reasons for stress is as follows. Now we are a twofold entity. We have our physical presence and we also have our mental presence. Whenever we are working, this is our status, isn't it? Now say for example you are eating, you're having your lunch, and while having your lunch your mind is in the office because you have just come from office. So all that which has happened for the last 4.5 hours in the office is continuously going on in your mind. So you are present at home having lunch and your mind is in office or workplace. So what happened here? Your physical entity is at one place and your mental entity is at another place. And the psychologists say that this is one of the major reasons for stress. Anytime your mind and body are not together but they are in different places, that increases the amount of stress. Let's say you go to office and then you had made a plan to go out in the evening to a friend's place. Several friends are catching up at one of their friends' houses. So you are sitting in office and you are thinking about the party which could happen in the evening. Now there what happened? Physically you are present in the office and mentally you are already present in your friend's place. So there again, when your physical presence and your mental entity are not together, that amounts to stress. See, all that Sri Krishna cannot put it in a verse like this, isn't it? So he'll just say, don't do this, do this. Do's and don'ts. Then who does all this research? The sages thereafter, they have in their documentaries what they write, the commentaries what they write, they take up all these aspects. And then they start coming out. These are the reasons why the Lord has said so, and which cannot be disputed. So a certain amount of, I would say, a blind faith on what has been written, it is accepted over here. You don't have to justify, testify, all that. The reason is, like say, if our parents right from our childhood have been telling us something, don't we at one point listen to them? Says, yes, you have never told anything wrong to us. You have told in our interest only. So there what happens? The trust builds up. Every time somebody says something, and that what they have said, if it happens to be right, then it amounts to a level of confidence increase. And gradually incidents, more and more of these kind happening, so that confidence level increasing, it comes to a point where there is trust. And again, if the same thing keeps happening again and again and again, eventually the trust becomes a surrender. There is no more further argument on that. Yes, you have told meaning, yes. I would not even think to the wee bit about it. So likewise, he says, for your good I am saying. And by doing so, there is, he says, samachara. Tasmad asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara. Samachara means is performed. On what lines? Without attachment. So that amounts to an Ishwararpana Buddhi. When you do the Ishwararpana Buddhi and subsequently Asaktaha, Asakto hyacharan karma param apnoti purushaha. Asakto, meaning unattached. When you do that, you are showing your emotion of prasada buddhi, where you're telling the Lord, yes, I accept whatever you give as a result. So I have offered my duty as a dedication, a devotion unto you, and I am willing to accept, O Lord, whatever you give, I accept it with grace. When Ishwararpana and Prasad Buddhi come in, that is the highest thing which can happen in a Karma Yoga. And that is the very purpose of Karma Yoga. How? This dedication and acceptance of fruit will start cleansing your mind, which is known as Chitta Shuddhi. The mind which has traveled millions and millions of births has a lot of contamination in it, malina, filled with dirt and filth. Now that has to be cleansed. Now you are saying you do all the cleaning at one go. Now we are already catching the feet of the Lord and saying, no, I surrender to you. You do whatever it is, but I want this to be clean. This is something which has been dirty for several millions of births. And now in this short span, you are asking the Lord to clean it. He says, yes, I will do. And there he gives a upaya. Upaya is a remedy. He says, you do the samachara and asakta, ishwararpana and prasada buddhi, and I will ensure that your cleansing goes at a fast pace. And in the process, you will also have chitta ekagrata. That concentration will also develop. Because in future, he is going to take us to higher levels. These are just the basic levels which are there now. If you have to go there, you need to first have your mind cleansed. And with such a mind, what happens? You feel poised, you feel contented while you're doing any work, even after the work, and your whole day goes smooth and fine. See, when you do an activity in such a manner, it is a step to climb the ladder of spiritual success by purity. And here you don't have any intention to achieve anything out of this activity because you have already dedicated. So let us say, even if you don't get anything, that will not happen. You will get definitely much more than expected or as you deserve. But one thing is there, be it failure or success, if this has been done properly, it will surely give you the purity of mind for spiritual success. See, there are so many actions we do in a day, weeks, years, and what is our primary goal? Our primary goal is to have some monetary gain. When you go to work, that is the primary goal, isn't it? Even if you look for an promotion or you look for some better perk in the company, all that is what? It's monetary only. So when you have gone there and you have earned and you have done so many savings, and eventually you save it and one fine day you don't know, wrongly invested, there it can all go. But here this is never a loss to you, because you are spiritually evolving yourself day by day, week by week, and year by year. Simple things, two things. Oh Lord, I am the instrument in your hands. You are working through me. I am dedicating this action to you. Can't we do this much? What did we lose by doing this much? And how much are we going to gain by doing this small prayer? These are the beautiful secrets, the precious pearls which are deep in the ocean, which we are getting now. When you have dived so deep into the ocean, you're fortunate enough to have gone there. You're more fortunate enough to have got a pearl, and then you came out with the pearl, and negligently you don't know where you dropped it on the land. What is the meaning of such a endeavor or a life? So irresponsible. You have to keep this in mind. And he says, ever be detached to the fruits. Focus on your work. Our Gurudev Swami Chinmayanda used to say, keep your mind where your hands are. A beautiful saying where a picture is that there is a hand which is doing japa, japamala, and it's turning the japamala. So it's saying like, when you're doing japa, do japa. Don't allow your mind to go somewhere else. So your mind should be where your hands are. Your hands are at doing the japa. Focus on that. Ever be attached to the perfection in work and detached from the fruits of action. See, we are in this world. If there is a need, there has to be a deed. Otherwise, we won't get anything. We have so many needs. So we are compelled to do so many deeds also. When such is the case, so why not do all these deeds in such a divine manner? Of course, as we learned, for a jnani there is nothing. Jnanamritena tuptasya kritakritasya yoginah. So one who has become fulfilled by knowledge of the divine or the Almighty, whatever has to be done is already done, because he has already achieved. But we who have not achieved, we have to strive hard. Then only we can achieve something in life. Okay, we now move to the next verse. 320, chapter 3, 20 and 21 are together. We'll read both together. Please repeat. कर्मण्यैव हि संसिद्धिम् अस्तिता जनकादयः लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठः तत्तद्देवेतरो जनः स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते. So now he has said, Lord Krishna has told Arjuna now, you have to do karma yoga. That is the best suited for you. So he has to start justifying now. Because he knows Arjuna is no ordinary prince. He will have questions. He has learnt under the great Dronacharya. So he says, Arjuna, don't think I have told you something which is lower. Keep that in your mind. I'm asking you to perform the prescribed duties as per the scriptures. And even King Janaka, who was of the highest order, he was known as a Raj Rishi. Even he also attained perfection by doing this. when we go to buy something and we are in two minds, then what the a shopkeeper try to sell, what does he tell you? If he knows that you so and so is a good friend or something, he'll say, madam, even that person, your friend, she also bought this and went. Immediately you're convinced. Then if she has bought, meaning yes, she knows, I trust her. Yes, a judgment. So King Janaka has attained perfection from this. You also should perform as told by the scriptures. Do your duty, do your set of work, and become a good example to the world. There is a reason they call us Shrestha. Yadyad acharati Shrestha. How the famous people perform, the world follows them. Whatever standards they maintain, the world also tries to pursue those standards. The famous, the so-called ideals, the famous people. Now that is the reason today you see advertisement by the film stars is in so much of vogue, because there is a large following. So many heroes, heroines, they have a large following, and if they say that they are using a product, that's enough. That whole fan club will start following. So he says, you are a Shrestha Arjuna. Don't think that I've told you anything small or mediocre. If you do this, the world will take you as an example and move forward. And to further say the glory of Janaka, what he says? Ved Vyasji, who has in fact compiled the entire 4 Vedas, he is like, amongst the Guru Parampara, he comes under number 1. After the gods, he comes, Ved Vyasji. He told his son, Shukracharya. After Shukracharya did his studies under Ved Vyasji, he tells him, now please go and approach King Janaka and certify yourself from King Janaka. What does this mean over here? See the status he has given King Janaka. He is one of the best in terms of the spiritual knowledge. So if you have to understand and know where you stand exactly on your spiritual studies, you go to him. And then he further says, there are so many karma sannyasis, such as Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarkacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They also renounced worldly duties and took sannyas, but they did not run away. They were working for the welfare of the people. This gives you a great amount of purity of mind. It gives you a great amount of peace while you are living. So follow this. Just by wearing orange saffron clothes and then thinking that you are enlightened within, or you have some great spiritual strength within, that is all humbug. Tulsidas ji says, Brahma Jnana Janyo Nahi Karma Diye Chitakaya Tulsi Aisi Atma Sahaja Naraka Mahan Jaya. Says anybody who has renounced worldly duties, they have swadharma, isn't it? Each and every person has a set of duties to be done as a jiva. You may be a daughter, you may be a son, then eventually once you get married you become a husband or a wife. So you have your duties towards your parents, towards your spouse, towards your own children, towards your elders, pitrus, towards the cosmos, as we spoke about the cycle. All these are there. And if you say, I am a sannyasi, because here it is already also mentioned that who is a sannyasi doesn't have to do anything. In previous verses, what Lord said, I relieve them from all the worldly duties. If somebody is trying to cheat the world like this, saying that I have got internal enlightenment, I have divine knowledge, I am wearing the saffron clothes now, and he renounces all his worldly duties, he says they are treading a quick path to hell. Narakaman Jaya. They are going to go to hell. Instead, Arjuna, be a karma yogi. Have a great followership. He didn't say open an Instagram account, I guess. Facebook, Instagram, because it was not there that time. Otherwise, he would have said that also. And you see the kind of following you'll have. And then further, he says, I now give you my own example, Arjuna. I've told you about King Janaka and others, but look at me. And he goes to the next verse where he talks about himself. 22nd verse. न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यम् त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चन नानवाप्तमवाप्तव्यम् वर्त एव च कर्मणि. Hey Arjuna, he says, I have no prescribed duty to be done in all the three worlds. Forget about this world. You only know this world. But for me, I have all the three worlds. I don't have to do anything. And more so, I have nothing to give and take also here. I don't need anything. I don't gain anything, nor I don't attain anything. But yet, I am engaged in the prescribed duties of the scriptures. A simple question. Why do we all work? Why are we into so much of action in this world? Because we want happiness, bliss. Isn't it? That's the simplest way we can say why do we do all this. And after that, yes, there are some other material gains, some emotional gains. All those are there. But you tell me, I myself being the Lord, who has infinite bliss within me, for whom and for what should I work? And he explains to Arjuna, he's saying, see, I am an Atmaram. I rejoice in my Atma, in myself. I am an Atmarati. I am attracted to my own divine power within. I am an Atma Krida. I enjoy playing with my divine self. So you tell me, why should I do all this? And he says, Arjuna, you or me, we have an identity in this society. See, one need not look at such a big picture of, you need not, it's not going to apply only if you're a prince or you're a king or something. No. Whoever you are, we have to take it in that sense. See, our own children look up to you as a mother or father, isn't it? When they are young, they look up to you. The people around you, the people who are working for you, your associates with whomever you are working for, all across you have an identity. And everybody will definitely be observing you. So you have to do your duties, whatever, small, big, medium, large, whatever it is. Do as you are told and become an ideal. You may not do great things, but do small things in a great way. And then he says, see, it may not be for oneself, but for the welfare of others. Arjuna, I too am working. I'll tell you what I'm doing. And in the 23rd verse, he further explains about how he has been performing. He further elaborates on that. So we'll read this verse, understand a bit, and then take up our meditation. Verse 23. Yadi shahyam navarteyam jatu karmanyatandritaha mama vartmanu vartante manushyaha partha sarvashah. Partha, if I did not do the duties as told to me, I come from the Vrishni dynasty of King Vasudeva, one of the great dynasties of those days, which stood for righteousness. Now, if I do not do as per the prescribed duty schedule, then what will my fellow men think about me, and in what way will they follow my path, and what will they achieve? So he says this, and then he further explains of how and where, what all he has done, to show that he has worked as a role model, and he did not laze around as a king. See, sometimes we say, bade baap ke bigde bacche, we say, arey what, my dad is rich, I can do anything I want, I need not work, I need not study. There are so many children with that attitude, and they don't want to. They say, if you have toiled and you have struggled, why are you making us struggle? See, these are the common statements which youngsters say nowadays. But if one has to be strong, one has to struggle. Why do one go at a gym or in a workout place and sweat over there? You want to be strong. So same way, mentally, emotionally, and caliber wise, if you have to be strong, one has to take responsibility and be strong. And it's one's duty, whether you have, you don't have. These are all material achievements. They come and they go. If you are strong and steady, then nothing can affect you at any point of time. A simple example about immunity. Oh, I am at home all the time, whether I'm My immunity is high or low, what does it matter? Because I'm all the time at home only. That's not right, isn't it? You have to keep your immunity levels high. So the prescribed duty you have to do, whether you like it or you don't like it. Yes, let's do a meditation. You want to have a Q&A, right? Okay, quickly I'll go for Q&A. I forget about that. Anybody has questions, please? Okay, I don't see any questions. We move forward. Okay, I had a small announcement to make. There was a request. As you all know, there's a class in Kannada that is at 6 p.m. So we log in at 5:50. So some of my uh, relatives and family, they asked for um, tips for youngsters. And in fact, it applies to many middle-aged and elders also for growth in life. So day before yesterday, we had a special session for them in the morning at 11:30. So that is actually recorded, and we also have notes in English. Initially, here and there, it was in Kannada. A small portion was in Kannada. Then I switched over to English completely. If anybody is interested, I'll post it on the group, Imbibe group. You all can just take a look. And we have seen that it has helped many, and we have got very good feedback about it. Basically, tips to strengthen our skills. Yeah. So this, I was told, it went to a few medical colleges because there were some doctors in our group, and they shared it with their doctors in Bangalore and Mysore, and that was played in the medical college since it was generally told for children. Yeah. Okay. There was one story which I have told in Kannada. So there is an appetizer. Many of you are I've been sending you my weekend appetizer. So what I'll do is I'll post the appetizer also, so that you will get a translation for what has been told in Kannada. Hmm? Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Now, please be comfortable. Ensure that your body is completely relaxed. Any part of your body is paining or uncomfortable, slightly adjust your body in that position. Keep your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Keep your eyes gently closed. Ensure your forehead and face is completely relaxed. Let's take a few deep breaths, equal inhalation and exhalation. Now our search using the Panchakosh Vivek meditation is primarily to understand what is the supremost in our self. The three parameters used to assess the supremost: one, is it subject to change? Two, does it have its own source of energy? And three, is it permanent or impermanent? We, as an ignorant jiva, have considered ourselves to be the body, the mind, the senses. Now, with this knowledge, we understand our true self, and we try to change the default settings in us, move to a greater reality, and embrace that greater reality and stay in bliss. Now clench your fist a bit and release them. This is the body made up of flesh, blood and bones. Nicely packed into a skin bag. This body has undergone tremendous changes from my birth till date. It does not have its own source of energy. And it is subject to death one day. Label it the body Anatma, false illusory entity. Let's go deeper. The vital layers, the pranas, the pranas are subject to change from time to time. They do not have their own source of energy. And the pranic cycle is subject to come to a halt someday. Label it Pranamaya Kosha, Anatma, an illusory false entity. Let's go deeper. Manomaya Kosha, the mind. The mind changes like nobody's business. All the time it keeps up showing different emotions. I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm tensed, I'm tired. Mind too does not have its own source of energy. And is subject to seizure at the death of the body. Label it the mind, Anatma, the illusory false entity. Let's go deeper. The intellect, or faculty in the mind. The intellect too keeps changing from time to time. Sometimes it's proud, sometimes it's envious. It's dejected. It's insulted. It's praised. It understands, doesn't understand. It does not have its own source of energy. It's subject to seize one day on the death of the body. Label it the intellect. Anatma, illusory false entity. Let's keep our search on for the supremost entity within us. Go deeper and deeper. There you see a sheath of bliss. Ignorance is bliss. A state of no thoughts to worry. Experiencing that momentary state of bliss. This too is an anatma. Since It's not there all the time. Keeps coming and going every day when you are in a state of deep sleep. Does not have its own source of energy. And which is impermanent. Label it the Anatma. An illusory false state. All the five koshas are temporary in nature, subject to change from time to time, and are nothing but objects. Which are made of matter, the five elements. And we, due to our ignorance, have considered this to be our true selves. Let's go deeper and see what is that supreme self which is within. The consciousness, the Chetana Shakti, the awareness, which has enveloped your entire body, which is enlivening all these five koshas. That is your true self. And that is your supreme-most reality. This consciousness, which is eternal, infinite, omnipotent, omnipresent, and everlasting. That is the Supreme Most. Feel the awareness in your body. Feel the consciousness. The consciousness is not in the body, but the body is in the consciousness. Your body, all living, non-living, the entire universe, multiverses, they all float in this ocean of consciousness. And that is the supreme truth. Rest all is an illusion which is there for some time and disappears at some point of time. Be ever established in this consciousness and awareness. The more you get connected here, the more you get closer to bliss. Now slowly rub your hands, the palm, place them on your eyes. Gently and lovingly open your eyes. Okay, we end the session here. पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम् तत्सत् श्रीचिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु We offer our humble salutations and immense gratitude to the Divine Almighty and the Guru Parampara for their blessings and mercy to seek the supreme knowledge. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om friends. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you. Welcome you all tomorrow.